of their names.
Mine's like 70. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody give it up for Elijah. He's
Everybody
70.
give it up for him.
Hells yeah. In Indiana, no less.
What should I do? Or am I the asshole? My fiance of 2 months won't talk to me because my sister, her boyfriend, myself, and my boyfriend, they're all friends and they're all in group chats and whatnot, right? And so the boys, they're actually friends too. The sister's boyfriend and him and her fiance. So they're friends, and they split up. They're having like a Skype night amongst each other, right? And the boyfriend, her sister's boyfriend, lets out that she had a fivesome gangbang, 4 people in college, and the fiance heard about it and was like, I'm out. I can't do it. I can't figure it out. I can't get it out of my head. And he's like, do you know them? Do you have them on Facebook? And she's like, yeah, I have all 4 of them on Facebook.
Oh,
Nah, dog, nah.
And it was like, oh man. And yes, I see in the chat, there's Elijah or Minecraft. Yeah, it's always the Minecraft videos. So yeah, you're watching Minecraft, you're watching family-friendly gaming. And it's like, yeah, I got gangbanged in college, but I was just having fun.
Look,
and it's like, look,
that's fine.
That's fine.
Time
The
the
constant
fuck out.
communication.
You gotta tell me, like, train? That's like a pre-relationship understanding.
Right, she did admit to lying about that up front, which is the problem.
You gotta lay it out to me that, that's a conversation I need to know, because I gotta mentally prep. I can't, I gotta marry you. I gotta know this.
Before fiance engagement level. Before engagement level.
Before I get engaged, I need to know
I feel like
this.
it should maybe come up at some point.
No, that should be a conversation.
Maybe should-
no.
yeah.
That being said,
You can't be friends with them.
TJ,
Hell nah.
The
TJ.
friends part is the part I can't get on.
But
I
TJ,
can't get
here's the
behind.
thing though.
That
like,
one's rough.
I've been in a lot of relationships, or not even a lot, enough relationships. I've never had the conversation be like, so in college, did you ever get any gangbangs?
I don't think you can.
How do you
bring
phrase
up.
that question?
I don't think you can.
Well, okay,
Just-
look, so
Are there
What
any
you don't
sexual-
know can't hurt you.
Right, because a lot of people, they actually are starting to take umbrage with people who are asking for numbers, which that's almost side by side with that. Where you ask a girl, like, how many guys have you slept
People
with?
still do that?
Don't fucking, well, that's Tommy.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Do
Okay.
people still do that? You shouldn't. If you're watching right now, you're a young person, you shouldn't be asking for people's body count. It's not that important, especially
not, no.
it's not, well, here's the delta.
If I can preface it, it's important from a STD or even those types of things.
But you
Of
can
course.
just have that conversation out.
Right, but that conversation-
You still
hey-
don't need numbers with that conversation.
Dude, I like, just to put myself out there about how concerned I am about like STDs and stuff like that. The first time my first time, I was like, "Do you have any STDs?" Like, I just blurted it out because I was scared. And she's like,
Okay.
"No, but I'm glad you asked. That's very like thoughtful." And I was like, because she knew it was my first time. She got to that point, and so she didn't think it was rude. So don't think that they'll take it as rude. And if they do take it as rude, I think it's time for you to step back.
Yeah,
Take a step back and assess, or
Little
take care of yourself.
suspect,
yeah.
But go ahead, TJ.
See, my thing is like, because Shadow Shogun said, no, that's not something you got to know. What's done is done. I'm like,
Right.
no, pause you right there.
Okay.
Because to me, I feel like you should feel comfortable enough to talk about these aspects without.
I was
feeling,
gonna bring
you know what I
that
mean?
up,
Because
yeah.
I'm like, Michaela knows who I've been with. I know it's the
Like
same.
that shouldn't be anything you should have to ask. It should already have been a fluid
it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Like I think the whole thing where it's like, oh, body count is such a thing because sexual topics are so taboo,
Right.
Like, and the fluidity of like how you should be able to feel comfortable having. It's not a matter of, oh, I'm shaming you. It's like, yo, that's like a funny. It could be funny stories.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of different things as to why you might be having that conversation, and you shouldn't devalue someone. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I'm saying it should have come up because to me, like sexual conversations, like past experiences, whatever you want to talk about. Of course, everyone has different maturity levels on that, but I think the whole thing that comes with it is like, yo, I'm not gonna get bugged out for however many people you've been with. That doesn't
right.
matter. What I want to know is the Dre story, because I need to have the context. I gotta understand.
Right, because
Need contact.
I need context.
Because from a completely selfish reason, you're like, I don't have 4 dicks. Like, I want to give you what you need.
That's a security thing. I can't do that.
I have that though. I'd be like,
does.
I can't
That
give
is
you what you need. Maybe
That is a male insecurity.
That's a male insecurity. Absolutely.
And when I was younger, I had that like a motherfucker. I was, when I was in my.
Oh, I thought you said like gangbangs. I was like, wait a minute, no. Insecurity. Tommy,
He's like, all the time, baby.
We were all insecurity, so that's why I was. But but no, like, of course, when I was younger, didn't didn't know any fucking better. I hadn't really lived myself.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, oh, how many have you been with? Oh, that's way more than me. I have to be more than you.
Oh, that was your rule.
That was my thing.
Oh, shit.
Way back when, which is fucking dumb.
I was behind the whole time, so I knew everyone was going to be more than me.
I hadn't had that much experience.
Right.
You know, I think we were still in the single digits at this point.
Right.
And, you know, I learned through years, of course.
Right,
and
right.
Living and learning and fucking, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that just... If someone asked me that, I just walk away.
Right.
Yeah,
partner or anybody, really.
Yeah, just like if that's where we're at, then it already ain't gonna work.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that when it comes to sexual conversations and topics, and maybe it's just my belief that like, I'm like, because people were like, oh no, I'm like, dude, like, just as much as no one should be mad at whatever I say, I won't be mad at her for whatever she says. Right. And then you can there's so many funny conversations of what led up to certain points and different things. Like if you're really knowing someone, well then, yeah, if it's that, look, so the whole matter of fact is, you know, in this situation, for some reason, there was a reason why she kept that out of it because of how he might react.
Or how she might have she kind of admitted that she had a little bit of like shame or uncertainty about it. She was like, in college, we would all go crazy and it's kind of a blur. And so I'm not proud of it, but I did do it. She had ownership of it, but was maybe perhaps insecure about, like you said, how he'd perceive it or maybe even how she would look to him. And
just as every right as, you know, she has to, you know, it's like, it's tricky because I'm like, at the point of marriage, you should not be withholding information or feel like you should have to withhold information from somebody.
You're not in a good relationship.
Like you're not in a fun, like, because because what happens is if you know that's what the variable that's going to react, right? And you know that and here's the other thing. Here's the other part of the equation. You know that all of these people are friends. Yeah. So something's going to come out. Well, then that's a notion that, hey, maybe
might as well get ahead.
Yeah, might as well get ahead of this curve. Like, Jesus, hey, they might tell you something about me. Like, because look, like boys are gonna be like go say shit, right? They gonna talk, you gonna learn. And so it's just a matter of like, yeah, like STD wise, of course you have that communication.
Of course, basic stuff.
And I'm not talking about you come out the fucking gate and say, like on date 1, date 2, date 75.
So I got a rash I don't know about. I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
Like you shouldn't be doing that. Right. But what I'm saying is like by the time that you are marrying someone and you're like, hey, you know, I don't know how you feel about these certain things, right? Like I'm a different person, whatever you want to say, but you shouldn't be finding out something about your spouse from someone else.
No, you definitely.
That's the whole thing.
Right.
Like, of course, it could be something funny.
Not your fiance.
Not your fiance. You know, like that's where my delta lies. It's not like someone who you've been dating for a little bit, right?
Right.
It's someone who you're marrying. And would you rather that this conversation happens before things are established, if it's really something that can affect him that much?
Right.
Can I answer Elijah's question from earlier?
What did he say earlier?
He was like, how many is too many for a guy, I believe?
Well, first of all, real quick, Josh McFever, have you guys not had a hoe phase? I never had a hoe phase.
Yes.
I think I'm out.
Yep.
You're out? You're in?
I'm out. I'm out now, but yeah.
I'm scared I never had it.
Like
okay, I'll get to that too.
We'll talk. Yeah. So let me.
So those go together: hoe phases and too much.
Sure, I can link
time
them
out.
together.
But like, see, y'all, everyone keeps saying the past is the past. Yeah, and I don't judge myself for it. I find shit funny,
Yeah,
and it's okay to have this conversation. Why are people
It's
so?
insecurity.
It's insecurity at a fundamental level,
right?
Where it's like, oh, the past is past. I can't talk about it, or I don't want. It's like, no, it's funny. Like she shouldn't feel that thrown off. I won't feel that
Everyone
thrown
is
off.
happy and healthy right now.
Oh my God, we're hitting the right on time, right? What we want to do. I think this is like the dating episode because I just saw a clip. TJ, this is why you're on this is why we have this podcast. I fucking love you, man.
Okay.
Because I want to bring up this point to enhance your point, to let you continue. Sorry for interrupting. But there was a clip that was going viral on Twitter about this guy who was like, it was a young African-American dude who had a podcast. The guy that a lot of girls are like, this is why you should take podcast mics away from boys. And he was like, yeah, I don't like my women above 30 because they have this, and this, and too much. They have too much experience.
He is missing the fuck out.
Yeah, he was like, I don't like them to have too much experience because I want to be able to. Essentially, the gist of it is I want to be able to train them and to teach them the things I want them to know. Right, and I'm like, wait a minute. all the girls he was talking to, mind you, he's talking to a room full of black women, and they were all like, "What the fuck? You like, is it like a?" That's valid. No, they're like, "Is it a job training? Like, are you trying to make sure that they know exactly what to do? Like, are you trying to get them to they only like what you like?"
An anatomy test.
It's
you know
right.
what the scrotums are,
right? And she was like, "That's like grooming, right?" And he's like, "No, it's not."
That's
He's
exactly
like,
what grooming
to a
is,
degree, it's like you want to mold somebody to what you want.
Yeah.
But like TJ here is like, it doesn't fucking matter, and it's like, I'm so glad you're here, TJ, because like I want to say it, you said it, but it's so easy for us. It's so easy for us. It's not hard. It's not hard for you to be like, oh yeah, they have a certain amount of numbers. Gives a shit.
Right.
It's not hard.
Because it's a lot with that I would like to address.
No, the whole like what number is too high
For guys.
for guys.
Said for guys.
Oh, for being like a slut,
So
dude,
first
like a
and
man
foremost,
slut.
X out guys.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter. It's an equal playing field.
Right.
2, X out too many. Because no.
Right.
Just no.
Except for you, Elijah. You are 1 over too many.
He might be under.
He did one more
He might be
over.
under.
Now I try to tell people like the usual rule of thumb when it comes to anybody counting number. First of all, it's like no, granted,
These are guidelines. These aren't rules.
if it's a concern to you, if you lose count, maybe take inventory of you,
right,
and those experiences.
Right. Do you know all of their names?
Mine's like 70. Yeah!
Everybody give it up for Elijah. He's 70.
Give it up for him.
Hells yeah. In Indiana, no less.
Yeah, that's all they have to do there.
Fucking in cornfields.
Look, no, I'm over here fighting in Santa Barbara, the beach and downtown nightlife.
Yeah.
He's fighting with Top Golf. It's like Top Golf or Elijah.
Yeah.
Some people are going to pick Elijah.
Because they've done Top Golf like 10 times.
Exactly.
So it's like,
hey, man.
It's a numbers game. Good for you, Elijah, and you're 70.
Yeah. Candy Raver came in. Isn't being overly concerned about the number? Yes.
Yeah.
We've been saying that. Yeah. But no, here's the whole guideline thing.
We're joking about being concerned. We don't care.
Nor should you. As long as it comes from, like, if you wanted to do it.
So that was what I was going to say.
Thing. If there was no pressure or, anything, whether it's good, bad, excellent, in between, just as long as it's 2 people who just like, fuck it.
Look, there's Mr. 70, by the way. He's smiling and shit.
That's when he found out. That was after the 70th time.
Just thumbs up.
Got his trophy.
That guy wanted to be the first one to take a picture with him.
I try and tell people, like, there's 2 things that you should be, like, if you're really worried about it, right? If you're thinking about it. Number 1, it doesn't really matter. But number 2, as a homie, right? Like, I've checked a friend, right? I've been like, hey, whoa, time out. Like, dog, you been out every weekend. Like emotionally, you good? You're like, oh, I'm great. It's like, all right, cool. Like, keep doing what you're doing, right? Like, and that's cool. Like, if you want to, like, make sure, like, a person or a friend is, like, doing it with their best interests in mind. But if they're exuding their excellence and they want to be around, as long as they're safe, smart, and you can, and they're sharing that, that's cool. It's whatever. Like, it doesn't matter.